I'm Tom Milaschewski. I'm the new superintendent here in Reading, and I couldn't be more excited to be joining this amazing community. A little bit about my background. I'll start with the personal side. I live in Beverly with my wife and 4 young children, 8, 6, 4, and 2, and dog as well. And then also in terms of the professional side, I got into education as a special education teacher, a middle school special education teacher, an ESL teacher in the Boston Public Schools. Also taught high school math and special education at a vocational high school, and then was also a principal at the elementary level, principal in Salem, Massachusetts. So most recently I was a central office administrator in the Medford Public Schools. So I've held a few different roles in education in sort of all local neighboring towns, and thrilled that sort of the path has led me here to Reading for this year. I think it started through my time growing up playing sports. I had always felt that the way I felt most connected with my peers was always through playing sports. And I always wanted to be sort of that. I had a lot of great role models when I was, a student athlete growing up, and I wanted to be that type of figure that a lot of, adults were for me, a lot of my coaches were for me. And I really wanted to get into education to be that sort of coach and mentor figure for students. And then once I stepped into sort of my time, as a middle school teacher, I was also the middle school boys soccer coach. Then I was hooked. Of course it was, the athletic coaching that initially drew me in and that connection, but it was more than that. It was just the day-to-day interaction with students that fulfilled me. It was the day-to-day challenge of, figuring out what I can do to support my students and help them to have more success. And just the joy that you find when you walk into a school or you walk into a district that you feel when you're around students and staff, that I feel is just keeps me going. So I think, but it was that initially that coaching and that sort of connection to athletics that drew me in. Growing up in the area and living in the area, Reading has a reputation for excellent academics and excellent education. And I think the thing specifically about that excited me is just the town sort of all rallies around that. I've heard that, people speak so highly of their teachers. I've heard teachers speak highly just of the experience that they feel their students get in their schools. I've heard parents speak so highly of just the day-to-day experience of their students. So, and they all seem to really feel passionate about education. So I think that community pride and that community pride in education really resonated with me. I also think just Reading's commitment to more than just the classroom, more than just academics, I think really compelled me. So you look at some of the best programs in the state in the arts, in music, in athletics, and I think that for me is a draw, because I think that's sort of the best education we can give a child is high quality academics in the classroom and sort of a world-class experience outside the classroom through extracurriculars. So that was a major selling point for me in the community. I also sense it's a community that, to me, seemed really excited about even moving things to the next level, a community that took great pride in the things that were working and wanted to sort of build on those, but also took great pride in the things that were possibly challenges or ways that they could grow as a community too. So I look forward to building on some of those things that I've heard are major successes and points of pride in the community, and also addressing some of the things that I've heard are things that are areas to improve on. I think the first piece is everyone's aware there's a lot of new in the community, right? And a lot of new in the schools. So we have a new superintendent, new assistant superintendent for learning and teaching, new METCO director, new HR director, new high school principal, 2 new elementary principals, and amidst a few other roles as well. So that is a lot of new. So I think anytime you have that much new, there's the challenge of how do you make sure you can come together and gel as a team and move things forward. So I think we're trying to, figure out ways we can go about not losing sort of momentum in things because of the loss of institutional knowledge. We're also trying to think about what are some of the things that maybe a fresh pair of eyes or a fresh group of eyes can see things to do things a little bit differently. So I think there's a lot of challenges just in that managing that newness, which is a challenge and an opportunity. I also sensed, in this year, a big, point of emphasis for me will be just to get to know the community. It's going to be hard for me to lead in the community if I don't know, what are some of the big challenges? Also, what are some of the things that may be opportunities that we can do things differently? So I think the way I'll learn that is by spending time in schools, meeting with families, meeting with staff members, and really trying to learn, and then bringing around everything I learned to figure out where do we want to go? What is the future of the Reading Public Schools? But that's work that can't happen unless I'm actually able to first learn. So I guess in whole, it's build a team, and team, not only our central office team, but throughout, and learn about the community. That way we can position ourselves to plan for the future. But I look forward to meeting a lot of the high school students. I just met a student for the first time and she was sharing just her goals of going into, following through in college, either in North Carolina or in Florida, and studying marine biology. So to hear a student just meet her and share her goals is really exciting. My advice would be, I would just set your bar high. Set your bar high for what you want to do and hold yourself to that bar. I've worked with a lot of students who feel that they're not capable of certain things because of what other people tell them. They're not capable of things because they feel that others before them haven't done it, or they're not capable of things just because of whatever reason they may feel. But set your bar high. Set your bar high, and you can get there. And I know in this community there's a lot of people who want to support, who want to help people achieve their goals. But we want students who are going to set really high goals and really high bars for themselves and do their best to meet those goals. If anyone in the community would like it, I'd love the chance to meet. So feel free to reach out via phone, email. I'll stop by. I would love the opportunity to meet with you, and I look forward to seeing you around the schools very soon.